Hey everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge podcast, episode number 141. And as always, thank you so much for joining me today and listening in. If you are new, welcome and check out some of the other episodes on the page. All episodes are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music, so make sure you are subscribed so you can get notified for a new episode every Tuesday. I know I'm uploading on a Wednesday, and yes, this is the pinnacle of punctuality in me, so I apologize, boys and girls, but hey, here we are, and I'll explain a bit later as to why we're recording it now. But, boys and girls, make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, because I will be on the other places as well at the Sky Lounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5EUNG. Let's get started. All right. The topic of the week this week. Oh, boy. Off to a great start, right? Off to a great start. Just stuttering and sputtering our way through into the topic of the week, which is a recognition of the exceptional Ice Warriors' big monthly adventure NHL award show. Now, boys and girls, I went to an award show. Yeah, first time ever going to an award show. I was pretty stoked. Plus, only $30 for a ticket. I'm fucking going. Right? To understand more about the game I was only introduced to 2 years ago, you know, what better opportunity is there? So you take that shit, you go, you drive to Mandalay Bay, and watch these players get rewarded for their brilliant efforts on the ice and off the ice for a lot of those award categories. They do differ, of course, you know, they have a variety of them. On this episode, I'm not going to be going through every single one of these awards because you can look it up online. Also, at the Sky Lounge YouTube page, we do have the compilation video up right now in the breathe-ins. So if you guys want, check that shit out at YouTube. So, shameless plugging aside, the day of the show was actually pretty great. I went to the gym, you know, just to recharge myself, get myself showered up, and, you know, parked in my typical parking spot at the Luxor. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't hungry, but the fact remained that I haven't eaten all day during that time, around like 2, 3 o'clock. And so I go ahead and walk into the Luxor, and there's a little fucking bridge area where it takes you from the Luxor to the shops at Mandalay Bay. And I went to the food court place there. And it's crazy how much these tourists get charged for food. It's fucking ridiculous. And I sat there eating like a tourist and regretting and slapping myself in the face like, why the fuck did I just pay $9 for a bottle of fucking beer? And here's the thing. I complain about, you know, overpriced beers all the time here, but this was just a simple Dos Equis bottle. And I'm drinking this shit like $9 for this motherfucking thing. Oh my lord. Right? Once you get me started on the overpriced beers, I kind of lose my mind. And so, with that kind of cloud of frustration, I walk over to Mandalay Bay. Because I figured, you know, you get to the event center a little early to walk off the steam, you know, just cool down by heating up, which doesn't make sense, but in the world of stress relief, boys and girls, it does. You'd be very surprised. You know, and I figured just walk around, you know, and get to the event center to possibly, you know, beat the line. But the thing with good ideas, boys and girls, is that if you have one, you're probably not the first and last one to have it. And so, like I talk about with, you know, any kind of fucking crowds or anywhere there's people, it just gets crazy, just gets nutty, especially with sports fans. And, you know, it could have gotten crazier because you have to understand how many riled up sports fans there are, especially in Las Vegas when you're drinking all fucking day. But shout out to the Mandalay Bay Event Center employees for locking it down, getting everything in order, getting shit done, so huge kudos to them. And the award show, relatively speaking, went off without a hitch. You know, Kenan Thompson was the host. A lot of corny moments, to be honest, namely the Good Burger bit. Didn't really care for that at all, but did a great job overall. I thought he did pretty great. Humorous in certain areas, mostly humorous. I just think that whole Kenan and Kel shit was just weird, but again, that's for those fucking, you know, 90s kids, I guess. I mean, I'm a 90s kid. I didn't really care for it. But hey, like I said, the show was pretty great. you had all the awards, lots of great speeches. In regards to how these players have overcome certain things, and for them to get recognition for a certain award category, it's pretty great. It is pretty great. And it really was nice to just see a very supportive atmosphere, in that building. And to just top all that off was Carey Price. Carey Price's gesture was possibly one of the best things I've seen a human being do. And let me just walk you through the Carey Price story. And I'm pretty sure if you guys know who Carey Price is, or even have, social media and Twitter, and you follow any of these hockey newses, you will probably know what I'm going to be talking about. But a couple months back, there's a young kid. I forget his name, and I apologize. I think it's Anderson Whitehead. I would think that's his name. I do forget it, though. But his mother passed away from cancer, and before she passed away, it was one of her goals to have Anderson meet with his hero, Carey Price. And once Carey Price got wind of this story, this news, and this was actually during a practice, I believe, Carey Price goes over to Anderson, hugs him, doesn't even just shake his hand, he completely embraces him like his own kid, and Anderson offers an autograph, offers his shirt, his jersey, offers his stick. And I gotta tell you, I'm watching that video each and every time. There's a part of your heart that grows, and it's not just the fucking hamburgers that you're shoveling down your fucking face, but it's compassion, it's empathy, it's sympathy, all that shit, hot potted in there together. And I thought that was such a wonderful moment, and for the NHL to recognize that, and voted by the fans, of course, too, by labeling that as the most heartwarming moment, in the NHL season, it was great. And to have Anderson actually come to the NHL award show to, get recognized for this, and a huge round of applause for him, was, followed by Carey Price's video, where Carey Price just sat there, addressing Anderson, but surprise, surprise, Carey Price shows up on stage, hugs young Anderson again, offers him another jersey, and asks him, does he want to go to the NHL All-Star Game next year, 2020 in January. And Anderson completely breaks down. The entire crowd is going wild, standing ovations all around. And there isn't a dry eye in the room. There really isn't. Because when you get to witness genuine human behavior like that, genuinely great human behavior and just generosity to somebody who is not in a great circumstance, it was so wonderful to watch. And it felt kind of cathartic in a way. And so, I mean, here's the thing. I've gushed about Carey Price for like 2 minutes at this point. But he absolutely deserves that attention. He absolutely deserves that recognition for doing so much more than that was asked of him for this young man who lost his world. You lose a parent at that young of an age. I mean, this kid was probably not even 10. And it's heartbreaking. But at the same time, when you see things like this, it's wonderful. It's so great to see what athletes can actually do. And Carey Price is an absolute class act. I really have no other words to describe that guy. And I do. I absolutely do. That's what fucking words are. But it was great. It was great to watch that happen. And again, caught that on the video, on the compilation video at the SoundCloud YouTube page, boys and girls, just in case you forgot. And to compile all that shit out, it took a couple of days. And it was a mixture of laziness and circumstances that prevented me from uploading it until Sunday. But within that time between Wednesday and Sunday, what I realized was trolls online are the biggest motherfucking reason why I want to bash my head against the wall every fucking day. these goddamn trolls ruin fucking everything. I mean, I've been saying this, right? And take this fucking statement to heart, boys and girls. If you just skim through a comment section thread on any social media platforms, you will honestly get brain cancer. I really don't know how else to go around that. If you go through any fucking comment section or comment thread on any social media platform, I swear to fucking God, you'll get brain cancer. The stupidest shit that has been said will be said repeatedly by multiple people. And honestly, some of these fucking people aren't even people, they're fucking bots. And you have all these assholes just complaining about the most nonsensical shit. Oh man, Ryan O'Reilly didn't deserve that. Yeah, Nikita Kucherov fucking he doesn't deserve that. Bruh, none of you fucking play on the professional level. What the fuck are you complaining about? Listen, if you're gonna fucking complain, I got a suggestion for you. All you fucking troll ass motherfuckers out there. Alright? If you're gonna bitch, here's what you do. Buy a fucking ticket to Vegas. Rent a fucking hotel room. Come to the fucking show. And then actively be a cunt and boo. But at that point, you're gonna be fucking escorted out. And most of you motherfuckers that are so brave online don't say shit in real life. Okay? That's the fucking bottom line. So all you motherfuckers out there that are saying shit along the lines of, oh, he didn't deserve this. He doesn't fucking need that award. Fuck him. Go fuck yourselves. This is a great fucking event. And I had a fucking blast. But again, when you veer into the abyss of social media, you just realize, wow, no one's happy. No one's fucking happy. All these little fucking cunts can't be fucking happy for anyone succeeding. But I can. All right, boys and girls, I surely can. And I had a blast at the NHL Awards. And shout out to all the players who are nominated. And shout out to all the winners, because y'all deserve it. And you have that trophy now. Can't take it away. Just like the St. Louis Blues, guys. They won the Stanley Cup. Can't take it away. So, ultimately, let's wrap this shit up like a fucking present in your mouth. Players who get recognized for excellence in their craft do deserve applause. Right? Simple, not so eloquent, but there it is, boys and girls. So, let's move on to some souse. Sports and other weird shit. Guys, all game and match reviews are on the YouTube page at the SoundCloud, so make sure you check that shit out for more detailed shit. However, let's put a little asterisk on that because it is the off season for most sports. And when I say most sports, I'm talking football, aka soccer, football, NFL football, basketball, and hockey. Those review videos aren't going to be out. But I will be talking about daily sporting events on the YouTube page. It's called Cruise Peruse. So, again, if you aren't subscribed, go subscribe to the YouTube page because it'd be nice if you fuckers did. Bump that number up, guys. Help a brother out. But enough pandering. Enough whoring myself out. Let's talk about some Arsenal action. Arsenal! Now, transfer rumors, they're a bitch. It's ammunition for headline-skimming morons to react and give their quote-unquote intelligent argument to why Arsenal is shit. And it's like they're writing a fucking thesis, and you begin to wonder, kiddo, have you even graduated high school? Have you even fucking gone to college, even graduated? Shut the fuck up, alright? Because rumors are rumors. Unless the official club announces the signing, I am not buying it. Unless it's a fucking official report from BBC, and with the grain of salt, Sky Sport, I'll fucking buy into it. But right now, kids, I need you all to take a deep breath and chill the fuck out. Because rumors are rumors. Some of them may be substantial. Some of them just talks out the ass. So everybody, I implore you, during the transfer window, just chill the fuck out and watch what happens, right? This is the point of optimism for everybody. We're all at a blank state. We don't know what the hell's going to happen next season. I mean, if Pep Guardiola stays, he'll probably win the Premier League again. But we'll see. We will see what the hell will happen, especially with Arsenal, with all the financial situation that we have to go through right now with the transfer budget. So that will be fun to watch in real time. We're going to be watching it live burning throughout the next few months with Arsenal. So come on, you Gunners, as we also celebrate some Arsenal news, more Arsenal news, during the offseason. I know, it's crazy. But hey, here we go. Freddie Ljungberg has been named the new assistant coach to Unai Emery, and Steve Bold will take on as the under-23 head coach. This is awesome stuff. Best of luck to both gentlemen in their new roles, and hopefully Arsenal's future and present can thrive with this union. And dare I say it again, boys and girls, come on, you Gunners. I know the season ended with a dick punch. I know that better than anybody else, Arsenal fans. But hey, we're approaching a new season, and we just got to keep our heads up, right? Don't kill yourselves out there. Not yet. We haven't completely fell off yet, so bear with me, boys and girls. Bear along with the Red Army. Red Army! Well, anyways, football's still going on in the world today. That's right, boys and girls. Lots of international tournaments right now, namely the Women's World Cup. We have to talk about the Women's World Cup, boys and girls. I cannot skip this because it's been very important to me. I've been watching most of this Women's World Cup, and it has been spectacular. So many great matches. And when we moved on to the round of 16, which wrapped up yesterday, I'm not going to lie to you. I posted on my Instagram, guesses as to who's going to make it out of each stage and who I think is going to get to the final and the winners and all that shit. In the round of 16, I got 5 out of 8 right. 5 winners out of 8. So I'll take that 62.5%. But really, aside from my stupid guessing game, the round of 16 was awesome. There was so much drama, so much last-minute gasps that you don't need a script. This shit just writes itself. So, boys and girls, if you haven't already, if you're not invested in it already, watch the World Cup. It is awesome. We're watching great stuff happen. We're watching history unfold, potentially history unfold if US of A gets a win. All the way to the final, and hopefully a win in the final. But hey, I'm getting ahead of myself. I know Megan Rapinoe cursed the president, getting ahead of herself, saying we're not going to the fucking White House. But again, the USA has to play, have to win, because there are a lot of opponents that we might have to face. Well, namely 2, if 3 ideally, right, to get the ultimate prize. But hey, we have to talk about the quarterfinals now, boys and girls. Yes, the quarterfinals start tomorrow. And it does. It starts tomorrow, and it's England versus Norway. And England is the much stronger side, but don't be surprised if Norway fights back and claw their way for a regulation draw. I could definitely see that happening. France versus USA. This is the big one. But you already know, I'm not going to give an analysis here. I'll save that for the cruise peruse, and all I'm going to say here is USA, 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 USA. And I'm going to be wearing my new Alex Morgan shirt from Nike. Super stoked about that shit. And going to be screaming Alex. I'm going to be like, Alex! Let's score! And she will. She will score, along with Rapinoe. Now, we have the other match. Italy versus Netherlands might arguably be the best match in the quarterfinals in terms of how the football is played. And I definitely do believe that. Italy hasn't made it in the World Cup in 20 years, and here they are in the quarterfinals against the Netherlands, who ousted arguably one of the stronger opponents in Japan, relatively speaking, because yes, they've been to 2 back-to-back finals, in 2011, 2015. So for them to get ousted in the round of 16, very impressive by the Netherlands, and we might see a show here. And, of course, Germany versus Sweden. Germany, come on, y'all got this. Let's go. Let's fucking go, Germany. And you'll realize that, yes, Germany and the USA, the 2 teams I actually actively support in this World Cup, are on the opposite side of the bracket, and I do want them to meet in the final. Ultimately, I'm going to cheer for the USA, but I want them both to be there. And that's just selfish from me. And I know I preach sports monogamy all the time, but when it comes to international squads, I just genuinely don't feel that way. As a person who, long story short, has no real country to call his home. So, yeah, that's a weird story for another day. But let's talk about another country international tournament that's going on right now. In the continent of South America, the quarterfinal of the Copa America has been announced. Well, they've been played out in the group stages. And here are the matchups. Brazil versus Paraguay, Venezuela versus Argentina, Colombia versus Chile, Uruguay versus Peru. And here's the thing. I would love a Colombia win for the entire tournament. Wouldn't mind a Chile or Peru win. Chile, if they win this year, that would be fucking insane. 3 Copa Americas in a fucking row. That would just be unprecedented, crazy shit. And yeah, Peru just winning it would be nice, just because, you know, they're not really recognized. But everyone else, meh. Like Uruguay, Argentina, Brazil, any of those teams winning it would just make me vomit. So, please, other countries, please do your best. I mean, I'm rooting all the way for Colombia. Man, I got my Colombia jersey on. Probably going to be headed over to the Colombian restaurant that I watched the first group stage match in, Colombia versus Argentina. That was a fucking great time. And so hopefully Colombia makes it through and we get to see some great football from that. Now, the last bit of football tournament that we're watching right now is the Gold Cup. And yes, the USA plays tonight against Panama in the final match of the group stage. And I'm just waiting to see who we get matched up with in the quarterfinals. It's either Jamaica or Curacao. Curacao, I don't know how to pronounce that country properly. I apologize if I'm butchering it. But the country is relatively unknown. And for them to pull off a result yesterday, a miraculous equalizer in the last minutes of the match, puts them in the quarterfinals for the first time in the Gold Cup. So kudos to them, and best of luck to them. If we get matched up with them, I'm not going to have any sympathy if the U.S. wins, right? Because ultimately, you just want the USA to win. I want the USA to win, right? Unlike you other fucking animals out there who live in the United States, I want this country to do great. Not just the country, but the sports as well. If they do well, it looks good. It looks awesome, especially in a fucking situation with the U.S. men's national team where they've embarrassed themselves out of a World Cup qualification 2 years ago against Trinidad and Tobago. And now we're at this point where a lot of questions have been asked. All these results that's come through, you know, blank out wins in back-to-back matches in these group stages, it doesn't matter. You have to win. For the USA, it just comes down to the bottom line. It's just all about winning. You have to win. If you don't win, it's a fucking disaster. That's all I'm saying with the U.S. men's national team. If you do not win the Gold Cup, this is a fucking disaster. Okay? And I'm going to leave it at that. Because we got to talk about some Seahawks news. And it's been quiet. I know. It's a very quiet off-season, relatively speaking. You got lots of talks about guys in training camps, all this stuff. But I want to take this time to give a huge shout out to a Twitter user by the name of Cable Thanos, aka Josh Cashman, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check that if I am wrong. But this shit's going to be out anyway. So, hey, Cable Thanos, who's a fucking brilliant video editor, has been hired by Russell Wilson's media company, and as a fellow 12, I couldn't be happier. I am so happy for that guy. Just the videos that he was producing were such fun, zany content, and everyone loved it. It caught fire. It went viral. Russell Wilson caught on, and Russell Wilson, being the awesome dude that he is, brings him onto the media company. Get in, Cable Thanos. Awesome stuff. Can't wait to see more great content in the next season of Seahawks football. Go Hawks! It's gonna be awesome. Caw-caw! Boys and girls, there are more NFL news. Yes, the pass interference rule has been amended. The specifics of it is really confusing, and I have to reread it. I don't really remember it, nor do I really want to fucking engage myself in analyzing the details. But rest assured, we will all be confused in the upcoming NFL season because the rules sounded crazy I'm trying to read it, and then I'm trying to watch the Rich Eisen show to get a better understanding of it. Still couldn't fucking process it, so probably have to take another time to see what the fuck that whole situation is. But hey, the NFL is crazy. The NFL is crazy. And a man that has gone through and waded through the craziness of the NFL is Josh McCown. Josh McCown has announced his retirement from the NFL after 17 seasons on 10 different teams. A pretty storied career for a journeyman, and it's pretty incredible that he's been able to do this for such a long time. So, huge shout out and best of luck in your future endeavors, sir. Nothing but the best. And ironically, we'll move on to some Lakers news. I know, when I say the best, it shouldn't really be related to the Lakers, in terms of basketball, because, the Raptors just won the championship. But hey, here we are talking about the Lakers, because I'm a Lakers fan for the last 21 years, and this is a very curious situation we're going to be in. Now, obviously, Anthony Davis, the brow is with us, but our cap situation is questionable, to say the least. Lots of free agency talk, but I'll start believing it when I see it. I mean, I said the same thing with Arsenal. So June 30th approaches, boys and girls, and with Anthony Davis, let's see the dynamic of what this roster will be. Which players we'll get to acquire. Will we have cap space? I don't fucking know. I'm honestly just riding this one through, just like you, boys and girls. So there you are. And the Lakers also participated in the NBA draft. What a surprise, yeah. They participated, yeah. The Lakers drafted Talon Horton-Tucker, Iowa State, in the second round at number 46. Seems like a solid pick, and the Lakers went to work to sign free agents after the draft. I believe there was another player that was announced a couple of days after the draft, but I just couldn't find it beforehand. I knew I should have fucking screenshotted it, but I just, for the life of me, forgot to. But we did sign Zach Norvell Jr. from Gonzaga on a 2-way contract. And yeah, get ready, boys and girls, because we are going to have a shit ton of 2-way contracts that we have to sign, because our roster is going to be bare. It's going to be fucking bare. And it's fine. Because LeBron James gets to have his production company and make his movies. Yeah, Space Jam 2 has been announced. At least the cast members have been announced. The big key cast members. And surprise, surprise, all-star friends of LeBron James. Key roles include Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, Diana Taurasi, Nka Ogwumike. Apologize for butchering the name, but WNBA MVP, absolute monster on the court. And that's just to name a few. So it's pretty cool that you get to see these all-stars. And I pray that in 20 years, this ages as poorly as Space Jam does. The first Space Jam has not aged well. I mean, it's still fun. It's still fun to watch, but you watch it now, it's like, ugh, this is, as a movie, this is terrible. As a reminiscent, item of the past, it's great. It's great to watch. You just look at that and say, oh, fucking Ewing, Barkley, Jordan. Oh my God, there's Larry Bird and Bill Murray. But other than that, that movie's a disaster. It's a disaster to watch. It really is. But yeah, we'll see if this ages well. And also Uncle Drew, which I still haven't watched. I mean, I should watch it. It is Kyrie. But we'll fucking see about that one. Now let's move on to some other NBA news here, boys and girls. Not so Lakers related, because the NBA awards did go on. Didn't watch it. Didn't really watch it because most of the award categories seemed very obvious to me. Six-man award, Lou Williams, not really surprised. Most improved player, Pascal Siakam, not that surprised. And really, what wasn't a surprise for me, but a lot of people were very vocal about and very against, was the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo was named the most valuable player in the NBA this season. To me, it's not a surprise. To me, that's a no-brainer. You give Antetokounmpo that, award. He has been absolutely incredible. For those of you crybabies that are saying James Harden, open your fucking eyes. Look at what the fuck actually James Harden is doing. Are you kidding me? The last few years, yes, we've been giving these players MVPs for excellent offensive performance, excellent offensive prowess. But I feel like defense is coming back. I feel like the recognition for defense will come back in a big way. And Giannis, I believe, is the first step in doing that. And so shout out to Giannis. And gives a very emotional speech about his father, who he lost. And it's great to watch a kid like that get rewarded for his hard work. And I'm a huge Giannis fan, man. I want Giannis to do well. I want Giannis to make Milwaukee succeed because that's just a good kid, good guy. And that's the personal bias, right? I'm not a fan of James Harden. I don't hide that fact from anybody. I think James Harden's game is absolutely atrocious in terms of fundamental basketball. Just trying to drought for fouls. It's a fucking ludicrous behavior that he always engages in. And people call him the greatest. And I say to them, you guys are fucking high. Like, this is not the greatest. This is a fucking chump who is drawing fouls, and crying and flailing. And then complaining about referees not being on their side when clearly he fucking plays referees all goddamn regular season. So go fuck yourself. Anyways, boys and girls, oof, that was dark. But hey, in the darkness there is light. And that light came in the form of the Rookie of the Year winner and clear winner, in my eyes, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, Rookie of the Year, not surprised at all. But there were non-believers. Let me say to you, fucking idiots out there, the new God has risen. And you heathens will surely know his name soon, because he will smite you on the court with his skills. You fools. Luka Doncic is the new God. I do believe in that. Now, talk new gods. Gotta talk about the young boys, the young rookies, because we did have the NBA draft. Lots of optimisms and smiles for everyone. Zion goes first, John Morant goes second, RJ Barrett goes third, to the surprise of nobody. But, I mean, me saying that, I still enjoyed watching the draft because you got to see these young men so happy, genuinely happy that they're going to be playing in a league where they are playing. Their job is doing the thing that they've loved all their lives. And it's awesome to see that enthusiasm and happiness, especially when Zion came on. Everyone knew, and himself included, they knew he was a first fucking overall pick. But when he got on stage, that emotional reaction by Zion Williamson, to me, spoke to the genuine personality that he's got, the great work ethic he will show, and how much New Orleans is going to love him. And that's just an excuse for me to go back to New Orleans and visit. Because, first of all, I love me some Lonzo. I love Brandon Ingram. And if they do keep Julius Randle, I got all 3 of their motherfucking jerseys. So I gotta go visit once in a while. And Zion looks like a fucking great player that will be fun to watch, right? And hopefully I don't jinx it by saying that. I really hope that he does well. As for all these other kids, man, I'm not gonna fucking sit here and say I hope he fucking fails during a draft. That's terrible. I want all these NBA draftees to do well, right? Because this draft was crazy in terms of the records it's broken, right? I'm sure there are other records, but the most notable record was breaking the international record of having 6 Canadian players drafted. Shout out to RJ Barrett, man. Shout out to RJ Barrett for repping out Canada. 3rd overall pick. Guy is all about his country and shows that immense pride and passion. And I'm not Canadian, but there's something about enthusiasm that excites me. When I see people just enthused about something they genuinely love or care about, it's cool to watch. It's really cool. And so shout out to RJ Barrett. Best of luck to you, young man. And yeah, you're going to the Knicks. But I wish nothing but the best for RJ Barrett. I really do. And, speaking of Canada, they've been having a great old time. Nick Nurse, NBA championship head coach, and also Canada's new head coach. That's right, boys and girls. Team Canada will have a new coach in Nick Nurse. And let's just say Canada does love basketball, eh? Oof. They do. They love all sports. Everyone loves sports. Well, not everyone, but everyone. Because it's the glue that gloms us together. but at the same time, we want to rip our throats out. But that's the nature of sports, right? That's the nature of sports. And Canada land is very happy right now. And all this shit going on. Finally call a champion in the Toronto Raptors. It's a great time. It's a great time for the NBA. And it's also even a better time if you're a hockey fan. And, of course, if you're a hockey fan of a beautiful team called the Vegas Golden Knights. So as we talk about the Vegas Golden Knights, yes, in the NHL awards, Mark Stone was nominated for the Selke Award, awarded to the best defensive forward in the NHL, but lost by a small margin, I believe 6 votes, to Ryan O'Reilly. But, hey, I'm here to say congratulations to Ryan O'Reilly, who had a hell of a season and does absolutely deserve that award. And it is a bummer that Stone didn't get it. And if you actually watch the compilation video on YouTube at the SkyLounge, you will notice that I am screaming, fuck, when Mark Stone doesn't get the award. But I immediately start clapping because you can't win everything, right? I mean, last year was different for the Knights, but we couldn't really expect the same thing this season with the results and all the stuff that happened. But shout out to Mark Stone. Again, I give a shout out to the nominees and absolute shout out to Mark Stone for just doing the work and being an all-around great player. Eventually, I believe Mark Stone is going to get that Selke. Between him and William Karlsson, one of those two from our team, they're going to get one. Because we got them for a long time, which we will talk about in a bit, boys and girls. But we also did have the NHL draft. Yes, our Golden Knights made a couple of picks between the 1st and 5th round. Always love draft times. I mean, it really is just a lot of hope and optimism. And yeah, I talked about it with the NBA draft, but with the NHL draft too, get very excited. But it is a much, much, much longer process. So you just kind of sit there for 2 days and watch through what happens, and a lot of interesting notes and bits. But Vegas Golden Knights had a lot of picks, and their draftees were, picked in Vancouver, coming to Vegas, so good times are afoot. And boys and girls, I apologize in advance if I butcher any of these names, but here we go. Round 1, pick 17, Peyton Krebs, center. Round 2, pick 41, Caden Korzak, defense. Round 3, pick 86, Leighton Ahak on defense. Round 3, pick number 79, Pavel Dorofeyev, winger. Round 4, pick number 110, Ryder Donovan, center. Round 5, pick number 135, Isaiah Saville, goalie. Round 5, pick number 139, Marcus Kallion Kelly, winger. And yeah. Round 5, pick number 141, Mason Primo, center. So, yeah, along with me butchering those names, yes, our prospects took part in the 3rd annual charity event held in Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada, where players serve meals to people in need. And you know what? This is such a fantastic work by the Vegas Golden Knights organization to keep pushing our players towards helping the community and giving back. And that's one of the many reasons why we love this team. One of the many reasons why. And yes, I've talked about this on the Cruise Peruse, and I understand this. Yes, we love our team, and there are a lot of people who don't like our team. Namely, the 30 other fan bases who are, they have their right to hate on teams. And that's fine. All the shit I've been hearing with the Vegas Golden Knights, even after this draft, is, they don't have any cap space. They're going to suck. They're over the cap space. Yeah, no shit, we're over the fucking cap space. Moves are going to be made. And in my eyes, a really great move was made over the weekend. And to me, this is a very efficient and economic move for the Vegas Golden Knights, who I believe have gotten themselves a steal in this deal. William Karlsson signed a new contract, 8 years, $47.2 million, $5.9 million annual average earnings. I am so excited with this move. I've talked about this, but the other aspect to this, after watching the interview yesterday, or press conference yesterday, William Karlsson really does love Las Vegas. And in a time where players are signing, short-term deals with crazy annual averages, Karlsson's done something that's for the greater good of the team. I mean, $5.95 million compared to his $5.25 last year, it's relatively small, and we're not going to be panicking with William Karlsson because we got him for 8 years, and his game speaks for itself. He is a two-way player, fantastic on the offense, even greater on the defense. He doesn't have to get you points for you to notice what he's doing on the ice. So, from all of us here in Las Vegas, thank you, William Karlsson, for signing on for 8 more years. And I am so excited to see how this unfolds. And I'm so excited to grow along with William Karlsson and see what he will do. Like I said, I believe this guy is a Selke winner in the near future. And, when he says things like, I don't see myself in any other city except Vegas, and I want to win a cup here. You start getting choked up. You're like, dude, that's what everybody wants to hear. And especially from you. After all the speculation, after all this bullshit of cap space, of potential free agency, which is going to be hitting up in July 1st, some semblance of consistency and loyalty was just shown here with this contract, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So thank you again, William Karlsson. Thank you to the Vegas Golden Knights organization for making this happen. And boy, oh boy, that second jersey is going to be really hard to pick out. It's going to be hard. I have Mark Stone, William Karlsson, and Nate Schmidt that I want to get. Between those three, 3 jerseys like that, that's $600 I'm not doing that. That's insane. But definitely want to get one of those jerseys now. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. It is so crazy. But here we are. Year 2, heading into year 3. Got a lot of our players locked up. And our GMs are going to have to make some moves. So, go Knights, go. Let's see what happens. And guys, in other NHL news, yes, the NHL awards happened. Like we talked about in the topic of the week. Great stuff and fun times. Again, guys, I'm going to reiterate this point to just fucking drive you people insane. It's going to be on the YouTube page, so check that shit out. Breathe-ins, man. It is good shit. Well, the awards was good shit. The way I filmed it and probably narrated over it at certain parts wasn't good shit. It was probably awful. But hey, it's okay. Because the NHL draft also happened, right? Surprising drops and reaches, but again, most of these reactions are overreaction initially. We'll never know. Because a lot of these players probably won't be playing in the next year or so, probably with the exception of the first 3 picks. I mean, Jack Hughes is going to be playing, and he's going to be fucking lights out, right? And, speaking of the New Jersey Devils, there were a lot of trades that happened in the second day, and PK Subban to the New Jersey Devils is crazy. I think that's just crazy. And it's good for both teams. It's a huge salary dump for Nashville, $9 million. But it's also a huge benefit for the New Jersey Devils, who plummeted last season and lucked themselves into the first overall pick. Now they got Jack Hughes. Now they could potentially get back Taylor Hall. And with Hischier, for the life of me, my pronunciation is fucked. But hey, it happens. This kid's going to do wonders. I believe, really, that New Jersey squad is going to be some Frankenstein monster just devouring everybody early in the season. We'll see how they do, after Thanksgiving and all that, and after Christmas. But see a lot of good things happening for New Jersey. And the Vancouver Canucks, another team I truly do believe just needed 1 or 2 more pieces for that extra push. And they traded for JT Miller from Tampa Bay. Now, I know it's not the sexiest trade, but again, Vancouver is on the rise, man. I'm just saying, a lot of these young squads, I feel like their time is up. And they're not up as in it's over, but it's only beginning. So let's all keep a close eye because, yeah, I know there were other huge deals, but not really huge deals. There were other deals, but figured I covered the huge ones because I feel like, yeah, those 2 teams will get impacted in big ways. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, the future is not so clear, but we will see very soon. Now, boys and girls, I'm not a baseball expert, but I have been catching up with some baseball action, watching some baseball when I can. And unfortunately, the one bummer news I have to start out with the Dodgers is Rich Hill is placed on IR. And, yeah, it sucks, but you know what the Dodgers are doing, though, despite all of that? They're killing it. They're kicking ass. They're kicking all sorts of ass. Never mind the fact that Justin Turner hit his 100th home run a couple weeks back. Never mind the fact that Hyunjin Ryu has been slaying hitters left and right. Never mind the fact that Cody Bellinger is just an absolute killer. But our Dodgers youngsters are just breaking records for fun now. And I mean it. It's crazy how many records they're just trying to break in a single season. Walker Buehler is the first Dodger in franchise history to record 16 strikeouts and 0 base on balls. Jesus Christ, dude. And the Dodgers are the first team in Major League Baseball history. That's right. Major League Baseball history to have rookies hit walk-off home runs, hit 3 walk-off home runs. 3 games in a row. No one's even done it twice. But the Dodgers did it 3 times in a row. Matt Beattie on Friday, Alex Verdugo on Saturday, Will Smith on Sunday. Bruh. I mean, this shit has got me so fucking hyped for baseball action. I know it's a very early part of the entirety of the baseball season, and we haven't even hit the All-Star break yet. But seeing my team do well gets me hyped up, gets me amped up to learn more about baseball, which I have been, playing MLB The Show on the PlayStation. And I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Now, the whole thing with the Dodgers, and the one slight downside is it's damn near impossible to watch these broadcasts because of the TV licensing rights. So, whenever I do watch the Dodgers game, it's either on another, team network affiliation, like the Arizona Diamondbacks or the Angels or whatever. But I will always cheer for my Dodgers. I've been cheering on the Dodgers for 21 years now, along with my Lakers. So ultimately what you want to see is a championship. You want to see a win. And my expectation for the season always has been, let's just get back to the NLCS. Okay? I'm not expecting a win. Let's just get back there. Let's just get back to the NLCS and see what we can do. Because for this Dodgers team, I think it's win or bust. I really do believe that. And I know it's a lot of our young guys doing it, killing all the fucking numbers and shit, but I want the Dodgers to win now. I want them to fucking win a World Series. It's been 31 fucking years, man. I want to see a win. And it is selfish, I know, but fuck all of you. Go Dodgers. Now, remember, guys, all weekly writing is in the links in the description below, so check that shit out. Weekly writing number 19. Freestyle, City of Wingless Angels. I had nothing else in my mind but to bitch about Los Angeles, so there it is. Laziness strikes again. I know it does. It always does, and I apologize, but it happens. Don't be mad. Now, let's talk about weekly film number 19. Toy Story 4. Oh, you got a friend in me. Yes, I watched Toy Story 4. I got really hyped up about that because Toy Story keeps it simple. And the plot was simple. Woody must save Bonnie's new favorite literally made up toy, Forky, while meeting unexpected obstacles from the outside and on the inside. Simple. Such a simple story, but I love the writing for the characters and the obvious, but great ending to the story. And I will say it's not the strongest of the 3 films before it, but I thought the writing was pretty spot on. I thought it was pretty great. It tugged at your emotions. And mentioning the characters, really, the writing for the characters were great. But for the actors who play those characters, to bring them to life, to bring them to level of believability and just investing into it, they were fantastic. I mean, Tim Allen, Tom Hanks as Buzz and Woody, that's just, you got yourself that dynamic duo right there. Then you got the addition of Tony Hale as Forky, which was spectacular. Key and Peele as Ducky and Bunny, awesome stuff. Annie Potts as Bo Peep, reprising her role after she played Bo Peep in Toy Story 1 and 2, which was awesome. Christina Hendricks as Gabby Gabby, as not a villain. I mean, the thing is, you have to realize that these films don't have a villain, and this is kind of what I loved and was a bit frustrated about this movie. Was that's the fundamental problem in the story. There wasn't really a villain. It's more of character study. And that's what's also great about this movie, right? And so you had Gabby, and of course, Keanu motherfucking Reeves as Duke Kaboom. But Duke Kaboom. Kaboom! Ooh, yeah. Ooh, pose. Fucking love Keanu Reeves, man. And you know what? It's so crazy because a couple years back, I didn't like Keanu. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you good people. Back in the old days, I didn't really like Keanu. I was like, dude, that's the fucking guy who was in the lake house. And I was that fucking hipster that says, oh, the fucking Matrix is overrated. I mean, the first one's great. The other two are just, why? But I didn't really care for Keanu for a long time. And then, really after John Wick, that's when my perspective changed. And I started watching some Keanu movies and I thought, oh, wow, never mind. I like this guy. Really like this guy. Something about it. Something about Keanu in 2019 just works. And dude, kaboom, was one of the best fucking parts of that movie. He really was. Rajon, please. Fucking Keanu. If he said whoa, I would have lost my fucking mind, but there he was. And again, the cast was so great. And I'm not even mentioning the other cast members, Kristen Shaw, other cats like that. But it just goes to show you just how incredible this casting and writing for the characters were. For other talents to just kind of be background. Crazy, but it happens. It happens, right? And really, Toy Story has always been marked for its visuals. I mean, to think that we started this from 1995 to where we are now at 2019, it's just crazy how vastly superior the graphics, visuals, and special effects are. I mean, by the objective, appearance. 2019, so much better, but that to me is a testament of how great those first two Toy Story movies were, which were released in 1995 and 1999, made before the 21st century. And for that result to still hold up to this day, and where we watch the new films now, we say, oh wow, this is great. It's a vast improvement, but at the same time, you still watch the old movies and say, wow, this is fucking amazing for its time. And my point to that is really just how great the visuals were. It was pretty spectacular to just watch everything. Some of those characters you start watching when you feel like, I know they're animated, but they feel real. And Pixar has kind of crossed this boundary now where, and I believe this was really starting from WALL-E, where everything just kind of intermingled, and it's created this very beautiful visual style that Pixar has. And they've, again, Toy Story, the first Toy Story from 1995, to where we are now in 2019, it's incredible the evolution that Pixar has gone through, and we still get to enjoy it. And shout out to Patrick Lynn and Jean-Claude Colaci on the wonderful cinematography. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing all these fucking names, but I apologize. But I do want to give you that shout out because y'all have been spectacular in the production of this movie for the cinematography. Now, music. The moment when I heard You've Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman, I knew I was in for a treat. I knew I was in for a treat. Fucking dig me some Randy Newman, man. And this was it. Composing, writing some original songs. You gotta love it. You gotta absolutely love it. And some miscellaneous shit that I want to talk about with this movie was my initial opinion when this movie was announced was, really? Why do we need a sequel? I find myself asking frustrated questions like that, and then when you see the result, and when I can admit I'm wrong, I'm very pleasantly surprised, and I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong, and I'm very happy that I'm wrong. If it turns out right, and if it turns out better than what I expected, and my expectations were just very low or none at all, then I'm happy. I'm like, wow, this fucking came out of nowhere. This was awesome. And that's the thing. I found myself just thoroughly enjoying the movie and just throwing the question, that question of why do we need a sequel, just got thrown out the window. I said, fuck that. This was awesome. Had a great time watching it. And I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch this movie with the with the fucking rewatches of the previous films. So, yeah, I just kind of came into this movie blank state. I haven't watched Toy Story in a couple of years because I can't rewatch Toy Story 3. It's fucking hard, man. It's devastating, that ending is like devastating. Not the toys dying, but like Andy letting go and Woody and Buzz and every one of those guys. It's crazy, but it's so good, and I know I have to rewatch it. And one of these days, I am gonna rewatch it. I'm not crazy. I have to rewatch it, but yeah, I got to figure out a way to get all that shit in. Because Toy Story 1 and 2, I had them on VHS years back, but I gave those VHS away. My fucking VHS collection was fire. And then I gave it away like the idiot that I am. But it happens, boys and girls. It happens. And what happened also was this movie really just, for me having no expectations, to thoroughly enjoy myself and putting myself just in the, focus mode of watching this, was awesome. It was brilliant. And so if I have to give this a rating, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. But 8.0. But I'm after writing it and feeling it, I gotta give it an 8.5. Toy Story 4 is another great addition to the Toy Story series. That is a testament to how much the series has evolved over the last 25 years. And it's pretty amazing that most of us got to witness it step by step. And it's just a great movie. It's a fun movie. I'm not really going to nitpick it except the story aspect, but it was pretty fucking solid, man. So go watch it. If you haven't watched Toy Story 4, kids, go fucking watch it. Do it now. Because we got to talk about now the album of the week, number 19. Got 19s all around, boys and girls. 19s! And we take it back to the teens. Back in Black by AC/DC. Now, fun titty bit. First time I ever listened to Back in Black was in high school. It blew my fucking mind. This album absolutely blew my mind. Every track was fucking amazing. And I've been meaning to buy this album on vinyl, and this is still on my to-do list. So, I believe after the recording, I'll probably head over to like a fucking Barnes & Noble or something, or order this on Amazon. So, can't wait to check that shit on fucking vinyl. It's gonna be awesome. Now, it's hard to pick a favorite track. And like a negligible idiot that I am, I forgot to actually write the favorite track on here. So let me break this down for you. Shoot to Thrill is my favorite track on this album. Not only because Iron Man 2 pushed that point of, hey, we got AC/DC, man. We got the rights to AC/DC, and it's awesome. And the way, Iron Man comes out of the fucking plane, it is awesome. But Shoot to Thrill is a vastly different sound and philosophy compared to before Back in Black, where the original lead singer died due to alcohol poisoning. And really, when you listen to Shoot to Thrill, it's different from the old AC/DC, but it still has that AC/DC flair, which I love so much. And I'll tell you another funny titty bit while I'm talking about the favorite track. My mom, who is a Asian lady in her 50s, who you would assume don't really like music like that. I turned that shit on in the living room, the live performance of AC/DC. She was enthralled. She was mesmerized by how great Angus Young is. The guitarist, the guy just fucking ripping that shit up. And really, for me, Back in Black is a perfect album. It is one of those perfect albums that it's so hard to pick a med track, but being the sadomasochist that I am, gotta pick Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. And again, I hate picking the med track on this album. I do. But it was a wee bit slowed down for my liking. So that's the only real thing. But it's almost like, all right, almost everything, that entire album might be a perfect 10. The intricate parts of it, like 9.5s, 9.0s. Rock and Roll Ain't No Noise Pollution, probably like an 8.9. So, I mean, even then, I don't really hate it. It's just kind of the least strongest out of all the strong ones. Kind of like Piccolo amongst the Saiyans. Like, oh, shit, Piccolo's strong. But compared to the Saiyans, he's like weak as shit. But Piccolo still does his job and still does awesome stuff. So that for me is rock and roll ain't no noise pollution. That ain't no noise pollution. Ain't noise pollution. Fuck me. So let me leave you with the thought course before I derail myself into a fucking tangent and not be able to talk straight. Kids, if you haven't listened to the #1 all-time selling album in Back in Black, you owe it to yourself. If you appreciate music, if you have any appreciation for music history, you owe it to yourself to listen to this album. You'd be crazy not to. You'd really be crazy not to. Now, I'm going to leave you guys off with a story here. I went to LA on Monday. And the reason why was the Southern Nevada Health District loves collecting money. Loves being this pseudo-bureaucratic institution. And for them, they figured, a passport isn't a valid form of ID relative to just being the only form of ID. So my mother, who runs the restaurant, her health card expired and about a week or so ago. And the health inspector came in, did all the inspection, got the A grade, all that shit, but told her that there's a new testing process that she has to go to one of the facilities and take the test. So Friday we go, and the fucking employee there, this big fat bitch, gives me the stank eyes and says, not a valid form of ID. Hands me a fucking orange paper and says, you need 2 forms of ID if it's only a passport. And I said, I've never heard of this shit before. I've never heard of a place where they say passports aren't a valid form of ID. And I thought, okay, cool. That's awesome. You have to have a U.S. What's that shit? Like a U.S. stamp on that shit. Which again, to me, that's crazy. Like I've seen multiple IDs that aren't valid, go through here. Like more specifically, the consular ID. In Vegas, if you try to use a consular ID anywhere, you're not going to get anything. I've experienced that. I've worked in the hotels where I know we can't accept it. But the health district, for whatever fucking reason, figured that this is a valid form of government ID, which it's really not, but they figured it is, but a government-issued passport isn't. So, for the life of me, whatever the fucking logic was, it just didn't make any fucking sense, and my mother's consular ID card was expired. And the consulate office of South Korea is in Los Angeles. So, we took a Greyhound bus to Los Angeles because $100 for a fucking ticket per person on a one-day flight. Really, it was going to be morning we get there, evening we have to leave. It just didn't make any fucking sense from an economic standpoint. And so, took the Greyhound bus over, got to LA, took care of business in less than an hour, ate some food, went back to the station, hopped back on, and back we're in LA. No. From LA to Las Vegas, I apologize. Right? 14 hours on the bus, and, transportation in between. Got the shit done. Go back to the fucking health district the next day. Provide the consular ID. No goddamn problem. Got that shit through. I was, again, blown away what kind of pseudo-bureaucratic bullshit they were trying to fucking put up with. Or put a fucking front they were putting up. And I thought, you guys are just absolute cunts. And I know, if any of you fuckers have made it through the recording this long and have sat through my story right now, I know there are some technicalities that you can provide me that, this is, you're just being angry and whatever. So, and yeah, that might be part of it. That absolutely might be a part of it. I probably do have anger issues and all this shit. Are you my psychiatrist? No. The reality for me was this was just unnecessarily inconvenient to the point where I just wanted to fucking destroy something. And I swear, that employee on Friday is still on my head. I fucking want to get at her and be like, your service is so fucking piss poor that I would slap you if I could. You fucking cunt. If there were no legal repercussions. That's what I always say, boys and girls. And guys, that will do it for me. And next week on the Sky Lounge, July is coming. And more silliness is afoot. So, folks, thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure you're subscribed on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music for a new episode every Tuesday. I know it was Wednesday, but we're going to fix that soon. So, hey! Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at The Sky Lounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5EUNG. Now, fuck off.